heroes arriving in the Abaco Islands.
5 young boys create a rescue trampoline.
The first to run a marathon in under 2 hours.
We have seen what we thought was unseeable.
A relay of dogs will lead blind runner Tom Panic across the finish line.
Nicolas Mahut lost in the French Open, but then his 7-year-old son ran onto the cart to give his dad a big hug.
Her and her sister have been heroes for many little girls out there.
I want to thank my amazing mom. She's my hero.
I love you.
Exactly what I was thinking.
When you are free to be you, it is the best feeling in the world.
He's the Sully Sullenberger of pizza.
My family is making a grant to eliminate their student loans.
We know deep down what's right and what's needed.
I'm going to fight this.
Who says I can't? Nobody! Here it comes. Never been done in competition. The category is love, y'all. Love!
Use your heart, your courage and vision to fix, to heal, to empathize, to connect. Because living life as something bigger than yourself is a hero's journey.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lisa Wisner, and I am just so excited that you have decided to join us today on this live streaming episode of PowerUp Hero. Hopefully, that little short clip that was powered by Google has inspired you to think of what a hero truly is. And let's appreciate and recognize that there are heroes all around us. And for me, today is a special time. I found a hero in the most unexpected place. And so I'm going to share that with you in a little bit. But before I do that, I just want to paint the picture for you of what we're doing here today. I want you to know that today, it's all about you. I want you to hear the stories, not only what I'm going to share, but also what our special guest is going to share. And I want you to see yourself. You know, some of us may be walking around with our own personal identity, but sometimes we connect better with each other if we remove that identity a little bit and step into understanding where other people come from and having some empathy. That's what it's all about, right? Having that understanding of we all come from a different path and we can learn from each other's paths. And that's what this show is all about. So like I said, my name is Lisa Wisner and I'm your host for PowerUp Hero. And this show is all about celebrating heroes, people who are powering up their lives so they can build lives that are great for themselves, for their families, for the community, in greater service to the world. And sometimes it can feel like you're climbing unimaginable mountains or pulling superpowers from who knows where. But you need to know that part of my goal, especially with this episode today, is to let you know that there's a support system. I know you see me wearing my shirt. It says Optimize. And some of y'all have seen my Optimize shirt before. So I need you to know that you kind of entered the Optimize zone because the guest I have for you today is part of my Optimize family. And she came to me in the most unexpected way. And I always like to say that the world today is made up of heroes all over. You just need to know how to connect and be able to be connected to the right people at the right time. So I'm going to introduce our guest, and I also want her to help me to remember to lead us into a breathe exercise so we can center ourselves and be calm and ready to take this information. Before I introduce my guest, I want to ask you to take an inventory. What do you love when you see yourself in the mirror? What is it that you love about yourself? Do you feel good enough? Do you feel loved? Do you feel capable? And most of all, do you feel capable of doing all the things that you've ever dreamed of? Our guest today is doing just that, asking very critical questions to people all over the world. My guest is Chany Singh, and she's a former professional belly dancer. So let me just take a break right here to do a little, I don't know what that is, an Egyptian, whatever it was. I don't know if I can do like a little shimmy up in honor of belly dancerhood. She's a world traveler, and she stepped out of the spotlight and stepped into supporting conscious businesses and entrepreneurs to grow themselves and their dreams to make a bigger impact in the world. Now she has taken her work a step further, and she has opened up her coaching practice to help individuals cultivate a deeper sense of self-love so they can bring their own individual impacts to the world. And also she's passionate about empowering people to be the best version of themselves through what she calls Humanitea Protocol. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. She's the owner of a business called Humanitea. And who does not like a little tea in their life? So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to Chany Singh. Welcome, Chany. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy you're here too. I think I'm most excited because, and I want to tell people the backstory of how I met you. So I met you virtually through Zach, who is part of the Optimize team. And I don't know if I'm a problem child at Optimize, but sometimes things don't work and I'm like, help, 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 right? So he was helping me through some stuff. And then actually it's so funny because I was trying to figure out how to fit, because I graduated with my Optimize coaching in 2019. And when I graduated, I was, thank you. I know. It's a challenge to do that, right? And actually, later in the show, I'm going to show you a little bit of my graduation. But what I want to share is that I was on there with Zach, and he was just trying to help me through understanding how to fit Optimize with the scope of the work I do and trying to figure out how to launch it. And then he goes, oh, I have this person I know. She just happens to be next to me, and I kind of hang out with her all the time. And so I'm sure you know who Zach is. Can you paint a picture for us of who Zach is in your life?
Yes. So Zach is actually my fiance. We have been together for 6 years now, going on 7.
Okay.
And yeah, he's also my best friend. Like, we just hang out all the time.
I love it. I love it. So he messages me and goes, hey, you need to meet Chany. And I was like, okay, I'm going to meet her. And of course, I think we had one Zoom call and I was like, it's over, girl. Like, we're best friends. You're in Canada. I'm in Texas. We're good, you know?
Yes, exactly. We clicked right away. It was so much fun.
I know. I feel like just the first 5 minutes of talking to you, I was like, oh, you're so awesome. First of all, your business is awesome. So you have a twofold business. So tell people a little bit about what you do. Like, what do you actually do in this universe to serve our world?
Yes. So I am a technical co-creator and I am a coach. And that's what I love to do in this world.
I love that. Okay, so technical co-creator and coach. I'm going to unpack the technical co-creator part. So tell me, what is the technical co-creator? Like, what? I've actually never heard of that term before, and I know we've talked before. What is a technical co-creator?
Yes, not many people have heard of a technical co-creator before, but pretty much what I do is I sit down with entrepreneurs and CEOs of their companies, and they tell me their vision. We look at their business and we look at them and their habits and how they can best show up in the world. And we pretty much optimize, like your shirt says, optimize their business, their organization. So one of the biggest things that I do is what I call like technical translation. They give a huge vision of their dream and I distill that down into, hey, how can we improve this? How can we set these things up? These are the steps that need to be taken in your business and for you personally so that we can make this possible.
And I really love how you said that you take almost, I feel like, you know, I know we probably all go through this. Those of you who are listening and you own a business or you're trying to do things on the side, nonprofit, whatever it is, you have so many ideas in your head. And I like how your fingers were like moving down, like you were like putting things in order. Is that what you do? Like you take all the noise and put it in order?
Exactly. That's one of my favorite things to do is to just sit with you in creation mode and hear these dreams and hear these visions. And also you'd be surprised what comes up in conversation that you don't hear, but that someone who sits with you and is ready for it can hear, hold on to, and really make sure is present in the development of that dream.
I love it. I love it. So as we were talking about calming our minds, right, which is like all the noise, you're the calmer of the minds through your technical solution. We forgot to do breathes. And I have to tell you all who are not optimized, you're not in the optimized family, that we must do breathes. If we got together and did not do breathes, then we must do breathes. So for those of y'all who don't know what breathes are, breathes is a protocol that you can use to help you center yourself. It helps prepare you to be able to attract the positive in the input that you're about to put into yourself. But not only that, I think it's just a way for you to be present in the moment. So I'm going to guide you through a breathe exercise. And this breathe exercise actually sits front and center in front of my laptop when I'm working to remind me if I'm in distress or if something's going on or if I'm having a really great time, I should probably knock out a breathe exercise. So I'm going to walk you through it. And Brian Johnson does this. And Michael, who's also our head coach, does this as well constantly. And pretty much all our coaches. And I've even heard people starting their weddings with breathe exercises. So that's pretty amazing, right, Chany? So let's go ahead and start the breathe exercise, okay? So everybody, so everybody just take a deep breath in first. Let's just get it all out, all the nerves out. Take a breath in. Okay, so make sure you take a breath in. And the breathe protocol, I'm gonna speak the breathe protocol, but I want you to follow along, okay? Take a deep breath in through your nose and fill your diaphragm. Take a breath out and relax, letting go of all the tension. Take a deep breath in. E is energize. Feel your soul force growing inside of you. Breathe out. A is allow. Allow yourself to radiate that amazing soul force that was in you out to the universe. Take a deep breath in and stand tall, telos tall, with your shoulders back and like an archer ready to hit the target. Take a deep breath out. Heroic heart is our H. Fill the world with love. Just think about your heart filling the entire world with love. Take a deep breath in. E is eudaimonia. See the best version of yourself. That is what that means. See what your best version of you is right now. And as you breathe out, S is smile. And I want you to say, hello, beautiful. Hello, optimizer. Hello, Chany.
Hi, Lisa.
Yeah, so y'all did a breeze with us, and that's pretty much what we do every time. I have my AM protocol that I do, and it includes doing my breathes. But like I said, I have the breathes right there. It's written, and I just kind of follow it along as I'm going. But thank you so much for helping me take a pause there, Chany, so we can lead people into that. But speak to me a little bit about what people may be hearing but not understanding. What does the optimized program mean to you? And when I say the words Brian Johnson, like, what does all of that mean to you?
Oh, yeah. So the optimized program means to me, what it means to me is accessing the best version of yourself. There are practices that are introduced through the program. There's so much emotional and energetic and purpose-driven deep work and deep self-reflection that is done so that you can get clearer about why you're here, what you want to be doing with this time, how you can be your best self, and what really works for you and what might be time to let go of. And there's just, my favorite part is the amount of accountability and engagement in the community so that you're not alone doing this. You're doing this with people who are on the same journey as you, maybe going in different directions or destinations, but who are all investigating and growing.
So do you have a swim buddy? Because I got a swim buddy when I first went through coaching. I'm going through coaching right now again, but did you get a swim buddy?
I got an amazing swim buddy. Shout out Chany, you're amazing. Chany has walked me through so many, Chany's an amazing optimizer, first of all. She is so fantastic, and she's just so good at caring and holding space for, and us just being real and having conversation and pulling out good insights about what's coming out, kind of that like technical co-creation, like I hear this, but you may not hear that, and reflecting that back to me. And I think that we do that for each other. And so we both always come away from our swim buddy sessions feeling motivated, loved, ready to take on more, and just so full of happiness.
Yeah, I know. I remember, I feel like I struck gold when I found my swim buddy, and his name is Maynard, and oh my gosh, this guy was like Brian. I mean, honestly, I have to tell you, and I mean, no disrespect or anything, I totally felt like I was getting Brian in my coaching sessions with my swim buddy, because he was so on it. Like, I mean, literally, like, he was so on top of it. You know, okay, so can I say something about Brian Johnson? So Brian Johnson is the founder of Optimize, and he lives his life in these perfect protocols, which sometimes to me feel a little bit unrealistic because it's not my job to be optimized. I have another side of my life that I have to engage with, right? Which does not require me reading books, optimized. But Brian's family lives kind of like what you aspire for, right?
Yes.
And this guy, Maynard, was that. Okay. So yeah, talk about having a swim buddy. I was like always like, okay, Maynard, you can pull me up now. I need help. I haven't done my plus one.
Tap in.
300.
Tap in. I need some help.
Yeah. He was awesome. He was so awesome. I mean, he went as far as asking me, "What do you need help with?" Because I needed to finish my requirements, right? So you've got to do. It's a 300-day course. Right. So it's not just as easy as 6 months you're done. No. And then on top of that, you have to read, you have to participate in the plus ones, and you have to do 300 plus ones. And I was behind on my plus ones. And so you won't believe what he did. He downloaded all the plus ones into a drive, a Google Drive folder. So when I'm in my car driving to work, I could just throw that on and just get through it. I mean, that is a swim buddy, right? So
that is like lifting you up and just being like, you got this. Absolutely.
Yeah. He was awesome. So I guess I would just want to share that information about Optimize because I feel like you've centered your business a little bit around the Optimize protocols. So I know we talked a little bit about your technical, I guess, business support, but I want to talk about your humanitycoaching.com business, right? Which is all about helping people actualize. The goal is for you to actualize. So talk to me a little bit about how does that fit within what we're trying to do, which is to become the best version of ourselves. How did you get to that? What made you become this person that wants to create a business called Humanity?
I love that you asked that. Honestly, it's a lifelong journey, first of all. Connecting with people has always been something that has been important to me since I was a little kid. Like, I've just always been caring and always wanted to help people and help animals and help the environment in ways that I could. And that actually led me to doing a psych degree and thinking of becoming a psychotherapist. And, once I started to get into my degree, that just didn't feel like the avenue for me. And so I kind of went on a little bit of self-journeying and just tried to get to know myself better and look at what was going on inside me. And at the same time, I got to work with amazing people like Brian Johnson and some of my other amazing clientele who are healers and life coaches and teachers, and get to absorb a lot of the teachings that they were sharing. And that definitely informed my Humanitea Protocol and how I'm helping people. It completely changed everything. Oh, Lisa, I think you're muted.
I was muted. I apologize. I was trying not to be too noisy with my clicking around. So I'm just going to imagine that I just stumbled across you, okay? And I'll never forget when I first met you, immediately, you hadn't even done anything for me, and you still haven't done anything like in terms of my business or my life, but just having that one conversation with you, I walked back into the office like, I got this. I got life. I got it handled. Because I had one conversation with you. You're just so calm and relaxing. So I'm going to share something, and I want you to unpack it for me, okay? So listeners, when you're listening to this, I want you to imagine that this is you, okay? You've experienced tough times in your life, and you've come out on the other side. You've learned to get by and function, but you still feel like there's something missing. Like maybe there was more to truly living your best life. You may be stuck picking yourself apart and tearing yourself down. You may be fixating on mistakes and the things you do wrong. And this is what you call, Chany. You call this the repetitive inner roadblock. Can you unpack that for us? What does that actually mean? What is the repetitive inner roadblock?
Yeah, absolutely. The repetitive inner roadblock is noticing the difference from where we thought we would be. Like we finish school, or we get this amazing job that pays well, and we have the nice apartment, and we think, amazing, like I should be happy and content, and this is what I always wanted. And instead we're kind of left wanting and looking around being like, I'm not happy. I don't like what I see in the mirror. I get up, I do my 9 to 5, I like kick ass at work, I try and be a great friend and a great partner, but I feel like something vital is missing. And then it starts to turn around, and it starts to be about what's wrong with us and what's missing within us, and why we can't just be happy with the things that we've created. Or maybe we haven't created those things. Maybe we've hit a certain point in our lives and we don't have those things. Maybe you only have like the first tier of the job that you want, and that inner voice starts to just beat you up and put you down and look at the things that you do have and tear them apart. Yeah. And nothing you do seems to make a difference at that point. You know, a moment of like hanging with your friends, trying to like go out on dates, try and take care of yourself in some of the more like traditionally like mainstream ways. They're just not working. You're still unhappy.
And so I think through your business, you created a protocol to help people, right? Like you have a system.
I do.
You call it like the Humanitea Protocol. What is it? Tell us what it is.
Amazing. So the Humanitea Protocol is 3-pronged. It starts with self-love foundation, and we build that up through noticing and being with yourself, and then beginning to hold space for and respecting your feelings, sensations, emotional and physical boundaries. Taking care of yourself in healthy ways, really like healthy, supportive ways. And then there is the bucket of self-mastery. So that's when we start to talk about, you know, what are practices that can bring out the best version of you, and how can we bring out the best version of you, and how can we make this a more regular practice in your life? And that looks like mindfulness and movement and journaling and self-reflection and quiet time and space. And finally, the last bucket is self-actualization, or I also like to call it dream development. And that is where we take that insanely stellar foundation of self-love that we've built for you, where you value yourself and you center yourself in what goes on in your life. And we take the amazing foundation, or the scaffolding of practices that we have around your self-mastery, and we apply that to what's your purpose? What do you want to do in this world? And how can we get you there? Because we've built so much, you're ready for it.
Wow. Okay. So I know we can go on and on about your Humanitea coaching. So for those of y'all who may be interested in Humanitea coaching, I very quickly made a banner for you, Chany. So go to humaniteacoaching.com, okay? So that you can learn more about this protocol she's talking about. One of the things that I discovered through this protocol, and of course, I think people can sign up for a free consultation with you, right? They can do like a free call. And feel like how I felt when I walked back in my office. I mean, I literally felt like done coaching on me, but I was really just meeting you that day, you know? It was just so good. It was so awesome. Okay, so there's a whole protocol, y'all. So she talked about self-love. You got to love yourself first. You have to have your number one self-care habit, which is what Brian Johnson calls it. And he says something which is, you know, the meek shall inherit the earth. And that is what Jesus said. But what he also says is he translates it differently and says what Jesus actually meant is the disciplined, right? So the people who are willing to just be consistent with the things they need to do, right? So self-love is the number one thing. What is your number one self-care habit? Are you consistent with that? And then self-mastery and self-actualization. And if you look through this whole entire protocol she has, the process is truly amazing. I know I'm signing up for my free 45 minutes, and beyond that, I will hopefully be connected with you, because we all need help. I know. Okay, so let me de-escalate back and help people understand that, you know, sometimes you may see me and other people and think we're so awesome, or we do things, and I feel like I'm awesome. Honestly, I really do, and I don't mean
you are awesome
about it, but I feel like if something negative happened to me right now, like I didn't survive the rest of today, I would be okay with it, because I feel like every day I'm trying to rock it. And it's because of these protocols that I know since 2007, I've been following Brian Johnson. So every day, and I'm getting emotional because I'm like, I remember how I was before this. And it's just a wonderful life to live this life confident that you've done your very best. And I want that for you all who are listening. But let's even just not even go there, because we all have a story of what led us to have this purpose in our life. And so I want you to unpack for us, you know, tell me a little bit about like, what is your legacy? What is your foundation? Tell me about your family and what led you to become the person you are today. Who is Chany Singh?
Yeah. So to get super personal, I was actually struggling a lot with suicidal thoughts when I was a teenager. I think that's part genetics and I had really bad depression and anxiety. And I also got myself into some less than stellar situations around that age. And I didn't love myself at all. And that was one of the hardest things that I had to go through, was just how to keep going, and how to go from just waking up and hating it and wishing I didn't have to wake up anymore, really truly every morning being like, oh, okay, well, I'm here, so I guess I'll walk around and do what I'm saying. How to go from that, just getting by and faking it, to really thriving. And I asked myself, there has to be more to life than this. There has to be more than looking in the mirror and tearing myself apart and hating myself.
Yeah.
I believe that this happened for a reason, and I know that it's true. And that's where I connected with Brian's work and a few of my other clients' work. And it's true, there is purpose. And from that point on, I started exploring meditation. That was my intro to it. And I got clear in my head, and I explored what my purpose was. And I started saying yes to life and the self-exploration, and yes to what mattered to me most, putting myself first for a while and actually taking care of myself, which in our society is not super talked about, right? We take care of others and we put ourselves last, even behind work, even behind errands, there's just no space for ourselves.
Yes.
When I started to put myself first, and I started to understand how I could take care of myself, and that it was okay and so necessary to take care of myself, that's when everything really shifted. It shifted how I related to my meditation practice. It shifted how I related to movement. It shifted how I related to my purpose and to what I was giving to other people, because it was not from an empty cup. I was still taking care of myself. I was still pouring that goodness, that joy into my cup and giving from abundance.
Giving from the overflow.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So this whole concept, right, that we all learned it from Brian, is you have to be full before you can give, right? So you got to fill your cup. So every morning you wake up is a new day to fill your cup. And if you haven't done your carpe diem, right? He talks about your carpe diem journal.
Yes, exactly.
Then how are you going to be giving anything? You can't give what you don't have, right? I love it.
And the quality that you give when you're just full and joyful, and you're like, oh my gosh, just take, I have so much to give. It's completely different than when you're stressed out and you're empty and you haven't taken care of yourself that day and you're frazzled. What you give to other people, they feel it, right? On a basic level, they might not have words for it, but it feels totally different, and they see that.
Yeah. Can I tell you? So this morning I'm trying to put on a TEDx event here in Corpus Christi. And I was really super highly ambitious about it. And all the people who were on my team before kind of dropped off. They left the city. So it was just me here in Corpus. And so I thought, you know what? I can do it. I'll build a new team. And this morning when I walked into the team meeting, do you know what I had done last night? I had done the opposite of what Brian says, having good rest, right? I did not do any protocols. I stayed up watching the world's toughest race, which is like the Eco Challenge. Have you heard about it? It's on Prime Video right now. Anyway, we're all Spartan racers in Optimal.
Exactly.
And Spartans in there. So I stayed up watching it. So I did not have good sleep. And I showed up to this meeting and it was not good. And I'll tell you what, it's because I didn't do my number one self-care for myself, which is my sleep, my PM protocol. And so I know what you're saying, which is you can't show up to a meeting where you're guiding a team if you haven't taken care of yourself. How are you going to give them energy to do work? And I could feel it. As soon as I ended the meeting, I was like, that was not me. It was not me. And sometimes I think to myself, how many people walk through life like that? Like you don't have a good night's rest or whatever went on the day before. You take that into your work. You take that into your life. You take that into your family. And so I hear what you're saying, which is you took time to understand yourself and your self-care. And then somehow or another, we're just going to wind, right? A hero's journey is about winding. We're going to wind the clock up a little bit. And it led you to knowing that you can help other people do this work. What made you get started in this role? Like, what was the trigger? What happened to make you see that I could do this for a living?
So I have always been an emotional support system for people in my life, for my sister, for some of my best friends, even for people who are like I would meet at weddings who were having a tough day. Maybe they're single and the wedding is, feels triggering to them. People tend to just gravitate towards having vulnerable, real conversation with me. And I think a part of it is that I work really hard not to judge, and to just accept people where they're at. And so from a pretty young age, I'd say like early 20s, I was in a caring role and applying a lot of what I was already learning about caring for myself, the practices that would help me show up better in the world, and just sharing what it was that I knew with people who I felt could benefit from having that knowledge at that moment. And I trusted my instinct. I trusted and would just openly like channel whatever was coming through instinctually, intuitively, and share with them in loving kindness and listen. So it's always been something that I do. And this shift has kind of come from feeling ready and literally hearing the universe be like, nope, now's the time. Let's do this. Like it's ready right now.
You just decided, like, so most people go like, I'm gonna get a full-time job, with whatever I graduated with, right? So you decided to become, I guess, are you a freelancer?
Yep. So I graduated university and was like, you know what? This doesn't work for me, and that's okay. And I'm gonna find something that does.
I always say independent work is good work. It means that you're working on your own terms, right? So you're in control of the work you're doing. And that's my whole life. Even though it's so weird, my whole life I've had full-time jobs, but I have always had full-time jobs that appreciated that about me, that I had some entrepreneurial spirit within me that led me to want to have a job, but also have the freedom to live the life and work the life I want.
Yeah.
So today I just need you to know, Chany, that I am the one who nominated you to be a superhero, right? To be a hero for us, to be our power-up hero. I'm so excited. And one of the things I know about you is that you're the power-up hero of humanity, right? Even though we all love to drink tea. But the point here is you're the power-up hero of helping people honor their humanity, right?
Yes.
So not to negate yourself so that you can be successful. Don't take all the other things you have to do, your work, your chores, your family, and forget yourself, right? So first and foremost, yourself. And then one of the things I remember talking to you about was about your superpowers. Can you tell me, like, we're talking about heroes, right? And I'll ask you a little bit what you think a hero is. But if you are a hero right now, what would your superpower be?
Yes, my superpower would be love and caring.
Did you know that my superpower is love?
Is it? Wait,
oh my gosh.
That makes sense. I feel that deeply.
I feel so silly because a while ago I used to draw hearts on everyone. And before that, I used to see hearts and think how cheesy, like who does that, Like who draws hearts on stuff? And something shifted in me and I just started drawing hearts. Every time I write my name, I'd draw a heart. And then I just went into everything. Everything I was doing, I would draw hearts. And I'm getting emotional about it because I do love everything I do. So I'm glad you said that. But then you added caring into that. What does caring mean to you?
It means holding people where they're at. It means being with them and what they're going through and being able to show them that like that love is there even in hard times and in good times, sitting with them. So another word is empathy, and being able to encourage them to the next step in a loving, humane way.
Humane. I've only heard that word when it describes animals.
That says something about our society that we don't talk about being humane to ourselves, though, right?
Can you tell me about that? Like you just like dropped a bomb on me. Like, what do you mean, like being humane?
Yes. So that's a huge part of the Humanitea Protocol and the self-love foundation that I build is especially within our society, North American society, there is this ongoing narrative around self-coercion and making yourself do things and putting yourself last, like we were talking about, and not respecting when you're exhausted, when you're not okay, and just pushing through and putting yourself last. So to me, that's inhumane. That's not treating yourself with humanity. That's literally forcing yourself into situations or pushing yourself beyond your own capabilities. And so everything that I do revolves around checking in with yourself. Does this feel okay? Are you coercing yourself? Are you treating yourself badly? Are you speaking to yourself badly? You know, is this the way you would speak to someone you love with all your heart? Okay, well then let's work on that. Is this the way you would treat someone that is super valuable to you and, you know, holds a tender piece of your heart? If it's a no, then we need to scale that back, because you're not treating yourself with humanity. And that's literally the foundation of my business is treat yourself with humanity. It starts with you. How can you be humane, loving, caring, and go out and fulfill like a bigger purpose if you can't start with yourself?
Exactly. Pour into your cup first. So I'm going to ask you a question now, and you're going to answer it after this break. Okay, we're going to take just a short break. So I'm going to ask you, Chany, we're calling you a superhero, a hero, a power-up hero, right? So you're a hero. And I'm going to ask you, what does a hero mean to you? But don't answer it yet. And ladies and gentlemen, we will be back. We're going to take a short break and be back in a few minutes. See you in a little bit. Bye.
Bye.
What do Harry Potter, Katniss Everdeen, and Frodo all have in common with the heroes of ancient myths? What if I told you they are all variants of the same hero? Do you believe that? Joseph Campbell did. He studied myths from all over the world and published a book called The Hero with a Thousand Faces, retelling dozens of stories and explaining how each represents the monomyth or hero's journey. So, what is the hero's journey? Think of it as a cycle. The journey begins and ends in the hero's ordinary world, but the quest passes through an unfamiliar, special world. Along the way, there are some key events. Think about your favorite book or movie. Does it follow this pattern? Status quo, that's where we start. 1 o'clock, call to adventure. The hero receives a mysterious message, an invitation, a challenge. 2 o'clock, assistance. The hero needs some help, probably from someone older, wiser. 3 o'clock, departure. The hero crosses the threshold from his normal, safe home and enters the special world and adventure. We're not in Kansas anymore. 4 o'clock, trials. Being a hero is hard work. Our hero solves a riddle, slays a monster, escapes from a trap. 5 o'clock, approach. It's time to face the biggest ordeal, the hero's worst fear.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We took a short break. We're interviewing Chany Singh, who is the owner of Humanitea, and she's unpacking for us what led her to this journey where she's helping unpack being humane to yourself. She actually used those words in this episode, y'all. She said, be humane to yourself. I couldn't believe it. And I thought, wow, sometimes we're not being humane to ourselves. But before we move into the next part of this episode, I need to share with you a little bit about why you're here today. Your participation in our session today is all about helping to bridge the digital divide. At powerup.org, we're all about bringing you the best in human performance optimization. And I'll never forget when I started this organization in 2010, it was with the intent to make sure that having self-care, life skills, and technology skills was being included in necessary skills that children needed to have. In fact, I want it to be compulsory subjects, just like history and math and English. We need these lessons to be compulsory subjects in all education curricula all around the world. Our goal is to power you up so that you can power up your communities. And that's essentially what we do. So you listening today, you need to know that just by listening, visiting our podcasts, and watching our shows, you're helping make that happen. So if you want to find out more about the work we do, I invite you to visit us at powerup.org. Our website is powerup.org. Visit our website and learn more about what we do. But I'm going to bring back our special guest, who is Chany Singh. She's the owner and creator. She's the curator of this awesome product, which is the Humanitea Protocol, which, by the way, I went to her website and felt like she's taken the Brian Johnson model and made it fit I guess if that makes sense. I don't know if it Brian Johnson's model fits, but we already unpacked that Brian Johnson is another animal, right? He's like another dimension, okay? It's like, oh my God, if I could do everything Brian did, my life would be fantastic. I feel like I do 5% of what Brian does, and I feel amazing. So imagine if I did like another 5%, you know? Oh my God.
Exactly.
So Chany, thank you for joining us, and thank you for accepting this invitation. And again, congratulations on earning this award of being our PowerUp Hero of Humanity.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yes. So during the break, I asked you a question, and I want you to answer it for us. So we're calling you a PowerUp Hero, Chany. What does a hero mean to you?
A hero to me means someone who goes out there and lives their life for something that is bigger than themselves. Honestly, authentically, and shows up and rocks it. Oh, you're muted.
I keep doing that. I keep muting myself so I'm not messing up the audio, and then I forget to unmute myself. So let's unpack that again. So a hero is somebody who shows up for something beyond themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, I feel like our purpose is always extends beyond just us, and it impacts the world in some way, small, big, in one area, in many areas. And someone who is a hero lives for something more than just themselves, and they are also included in that equation.
Yeah. So yourself, right? So you as a hero, you know, I think Brian says that you have to have strength for two. So you have to be ready for yourself and also ready for someone else, right?
Exactly.
So tell me a little bit about your hero's journey. So we talked a little bit about a hero's journey. I shared a video from TED, right? So TED Ed created an animation about heroes. And you saw how the hero's journey has obstacles. And I know you talked a little bit about having obstacles of the way you were living your life and understanding that you needed to live in a different path. Mm-hmm. But I kind of feel like, you know, in your business, right? So let's talk through your business and your livelihood. Have you had any challenges, maybe one or two challenges, or, you know, some weaknesses where you feel like you could have done better?
Absolutely. Always. I mean, even in just coaching or the technical co-creation, there are times when you want to serve, and I have wanted to serve, and I dropped the ball. You know, like whether you get in your own head and you start thinking up here instead of connecting deeply to your heart, or you overtalk, or one of the big things that I struggled with for a long time was honestly selling myself short, not believing that I could do something, not believing that I had the resourcefulness and the skills to make this happen. And so I kept backing down. The universe kept putting things in my path to challenge me and to encourage me to just try it. And I would nope and be like, I'm not ready for this. And I know now looking back, like I could have done then exactly what I do now. I just convinced myself of something differently.
Yeah. Sometimes we get in our heads, right? We overthink it and we're like, oh, no one cares. No one's listening. And it's like, yes, but so what, right?
Mm-hmm, exactly. Just do it. Just try. What do you have to lose? Nothing.
And sometimes I say, do it for you, Lisa. You know, like, and I know I'm talking to myself, at myself. Mm-hmm. Many versions of myself. So the point here is that sometimes you just have to do it for you, and you have to think back and think, this is your one life, and nobody else is coming to live it for you. There's no round two. Oh, round two. Try that again. There isn't that. So if in the moment you need to do something different, just do it, right?
Exactly. And be open to what's coming your way, and don't shut something down just because it's like it's a little scary or it's a little outside your comfort zone or way outside your comfort zone. I mean, just give it a try, and if it doesn't work, amazing. You learn something fantastic about that.
Yes.
So even the times where I failed in my business, I've learned so much that I'm grateful. I'm so grateful for every failure.
Yeah.
Every one.
I'm so glad you said that you're grateful for failures, because I think that's our number one protocol is Brian says if you have a failure, it's perfect.
Exactly. And it is too. And it might take so long to see it. That's one thing that I hold is I'm like, you know, it could sometimes take years before you see how awesome that failure was. But when you get there, you're like, self high five. That was amazing.
Yeah. Okay, so I have this image of myself, like if an obstacle is in my way, I'm like doing like, so you're a belly dancer, right?
Yes.
So you kind of could appreciate this. I'm doing like a flip and a shimmy over the obstacle going, yep, I knew you were there and I expected you, and thank you for making my performance amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
Performance right now. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, so that's pretty awesome. I think on some level, I think if you have not gone through the optimize.me protocols, like if you're not living that life of optimize, you need to. And there's a coaching program that's about to start in a couple of weeks or maybe in a couple of days. I'm not sure. I can't keep up with it all because I have a lifetime membership on everything optimize. But I think they're having a coaching program that's starting in a couple of weeks, if not a couple of days. You need to join, but don't even think about joining as a coach to coach other people. You're joining for yourself. You know, the reason why you join as an optimized coach is to first coach yourself. You have to have self-mastery before you feel like you can overflow into other people. So just know that if you feel like we're radiating right now and you're wondering how we get it all done, we're getting it all done because we have our stuff in order and we have protocols in place for that. So I'm going to play a little game with you now, Chany. And it's it's the fast 5 finger favorites game that we like to play.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you a few questions, and you may or may not have known this ahead of time, but you may know these about yourself. That I want you to share with me just very quickly. What is your favorite book right now?
Okay. My favorite book right now is It's Not Your Money. And I can't remember the author, but it's literally sitting right behind me. But it's all about spiritual abundance and money abundance from kind of a more spiritual aspect, and understanding that abundance will come and go in ways, and not having any weird attachment around it. And it's amazing so far. I've read 1/3 of it. Amazing.
It sounds like it's like money moves. It has to move. Money has to move. So it's not yours. Do something with it. So it moves. And then it comes back.
And don't have any hangups when money does come to you. Like, don't have hangups about asking for money or having your pricing around coaching, because it's all in movement, right? I like it.
Okay, so I wrote that down. Okay, so the next question is, what is your favorite movie or visual thing to watch right now?
So my all-time favorite movie is The Dark Crystal from a long, long time ago. It's a fantastical movie, but one of my favorite go-to things to watch anytime I'm sitting down is Blue Planet, actually.
Is that like National Geographic?
Yes, and it's the seas and the oceans one. So I've always loved, like, I'm a Cancer the crab, and I feel so deeply connected to the water, and so I watch that, and it calms me, and it just feels magical.
Okay, so I'm a Leo, but I think I'm a Leo who likes swimming. Because
there you go.
Drawn to the ocean. It's like so weird. Like, I feel like I'm an ocean child, but I love my lioness-esque person. So I love that. Okay, so first of all, I have not heard of the movie The Dark Crystal, and I love how you said it's fantastical. Okay, so it's getting that. Okay, so I wrote that down. And Blue Planet, I know Blue Planet, so I will continue to watch that. Next is your favorite song or music.
So I really like singing as well. So one of my favorite songs is This Is Me from The Greatest Showman, which is all about loving yourself and accepting yourself and not letting anybody take you away from you or make you feel ashamed of yourself. I also really love the song Naked by Ella May right now. I hope that's how you pronounce her name. I'm not 100% sure.
And then song, so I will look it up. LM Naked.
Yeah. And then the last song that is always, I mean, it's an entire album, I'll just be honest. It's the Hamilton soundtrack.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Girl, I am going to Canada as soon as this whole travel ban and whatever's going on right now with COVID is ended. I'm coming to meet you and we're hanging out. Okay.
Right now.
Epic weekend with you, Chany. Okay. So I'm like, just Chany, just do what you do, and I'm just gonna be there and hang out with you. You're awesome. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay. The next thing is your favorite quote.
Oh. I have a quote that's tattooed on my feet and that I have lived my life by. And it is, plant your feet, tell the truth. So all about being authentically you and confident. And I learned that from drama class. Shout out Mr. Rulo. In my final year in high school, life-changing. And then the other quote that I would say motivates me to do my work and show up each day is a quote from King Lear, nothing will come of nothing.
Okay, like you've just taken me into two different dimensions, okay? So the first one was plant your feet, the truth shall set you free.
Mm-hmm.
You know, funny, I've found myself posting that quote in so many threads where people are like going back and forth about stuff, and I'm like, the truth shall set you free. Like people are just thinking about all these different things. You know, we have an election going on right now, and there's all this negativity going on, and it's like, the truth shall set you free.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing comes of nothing. Wow. If you're just sitting on your butt thinking that the world owes you something, right? Mm-hmm. The truth is nothing comes from nothing. If you do nothing, you get nothing, right? I love it. I love it. I love it. It's so fantastic.
Like nothing's going to come to you.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
Gosh, I could unpack those quotes just by themselves. But the last fast, fun favorites that we like to ask is, and you will appreciate this because this is something that is important to us, our fundies in Optimize, is to have AM protocols to make sure that when you wake up in the morning, you pour into yourself. So, Chany, tell me, how do you wake up in the morning?
Okay. So I wake up at 7 a.m. and I go brush my teeth, which wakes me up just enough. Then I will go and sit in meditation. And ideally, I would meditate for 20 to 30 minutes. It feels so good when you sit that long. And post meditation, I would move in some way that feels intuitive and joyful. And do a little bit of a check-in before then to see, okay, are we up for like that higher energy running or maybe HIIT workouts, or do we feel more slow and do we need a little bit more of a recovery day, and then meet that need? Following that, I would sit down and journal, and my journal is a mix of affirmations and gratitudes and organization for the day, and my Carpe Diem journal as well. So I identify my identity, my behaviors, my values for work, energy, and love. And then taking inventory and just making sure, how did I sleep? You know, how am I going to eat today? What are my goals around that? Personal goals, work goals for the day. And following my journaling, I'll usually do a check-in about how much more care I need. One of my favorite things to do morning and night is skincare. That's one of my number one self-love practices where I just feel like I spend that time just being like, you're beautiful, you're worth this, you're valuable. So I do that in the morning after I journal. And the final, I would say, thing that I do in the morning that puts I can't stop smiling, is I make myself a coffee. It can be decaf, it can be caffeinated, but I really enjoy the experience of drinking my coffee and just sitting and relaxing while I'm either, maybe I'm writing a blog post, creative writing, free-flowing writing, or just sitting in the sunshine, taking it in.
Oh, I love that. Just you describing your wake-up routine, I'm like, yeah, I could wake up like that.
Right? You're like, you're so valuable. Also, let's drink water. Also, let's move intuitively. And it's beautiful.
Yes. Okay. So I have to pull in an amazing woman who is part of our Optimize community, who is Brian Johnson's wife, Alexandra. And she's my best friend, and she has no idea she is. And I call her my shero. And she is a woman who I admire for her courage and resilience and her authenticity in being herself. You know what I love about her is when she comes onto coaching sessions with us, she has a dance party with us. Like that's completely outside of Brian's protocols, right? He's so serious. Brian, you do what I tell you, and you listen, right? But she comes in and she's just Alexandra, and she's a mom, and she's just so loving. So I have to tell you, one of the things I loved the very first time I met Alexandra, he brought her on some plus ones, but he had her do a class on self-care, and she did another class on mamahood. And I just want to share with you just a little bit about them because, we're both women. And I just want you to know that, ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are listening, it's important to know that this is your one life. And why am I so emotional? Because Chany's here, and when you're with family, you feel emotional because you're sharing from the heart. And you need to know that Alexandra is such a goddess, right?
Oh, yes.
She lives with like a Brian, okay, who we all admire. But at the same time, she has been able to create a beautiful life for herself, but not only for herself, but also to allow people like Brian Johnson to be who they are, right? For us. So, so I'm just going to share just a few tidbits from her self-care, because that's something that you follow, right? So
Exactly.
she talks a little bit about knowing and trusting your beautiful body, right? So appreciating your body. And the reason I wanted to touch on that one, I'm not going to share all the 10 protocols. And so, ladies and gentlemen, you can log on to optimize.me and go and sign up and learn all the self-care protocols. I'm going to touch on a few. But Chany just mentioned that she was, or she is, still is, a belly dancer. And I remember when I was a belly dancer, and it was all about, you know, trusting that your body is your body, and it's the way it was meant to be. And it does not matter how it was built. You should appreciate it and love on it. And yes, we're dancing while we're doing that love for it. But the whole point of dancing is to show your body how much you love it. Can you unpack that for me? Unpack, know and trust your beautiful body.
Oh, yes. I mean, first of all, you are so right. Growing up, I started belly dancing when I was 8 years old. So I grew up around women of all different shapes and sizes, and all of them were beautiful and could access and love on their bodies and move their bodies in ways that were beautiful and different. And to me, that means, you know, it harkens back to self-love, right? Check in with your body, see what she needs today, because she is your best friend. She's with you through every step of every day. And when your body gives you that feedback, when you sit in with your body and you're like, oh, today's a slow day, I didn't sleep well, or, you know, we've worked hard all week, we've done intense movement today, I just want to walk in nature. You trust it, right? That is feedback. That's intuitive feedback that your body is giving you. And it's so incredibly valuable when you start listening to your body. Your relationship with yourself and completely changes.
Yeah. Another one of her protocols, and she has 10 of them, is, and we're just going to go right to the end, is you are enough. So she talks a little bit about how practice being splendidly imperfect. So I think the goal here is nobody's perfect. So how can you be splendidly imperfect?
Ooh, that is a good question. I think just being able to see yourself as you are and still affirm yourself, still point out, like, love the things that aren't perfect about you, because that is literally what makes you uniquely you. First of all, let's just name that. When we aim for perfection, that's an erasure of some of the inherent parts of our uniqueness, and that's not awesome. I love you because you are uniquely you, and I love me because I'm uniquely me. And that comes with having imperfections. That's the fun of it, and that's the humanity of it too.
You know, can I just say, when I first met you, and Zach is like, her website is Humanity, you know, and I was like, Humanity, like T for humans? No, it was just so perfect. Like, your business name is so perfect. And I know anybody who reaches out to you is probably going to ask you, like, do you like tea? What kind of teas do you like? So tell us a little bit about your tea.
I wish that I could take you to my tea collection and show you the entire cupboard. We have 2 cupboards dedicated to my tea collection. Zach has now asked us, what is our daily tea? What's on that round? And we'll put the rest away. And this will be our hosting tea, where we offer all the options. So I love green tea, floral teas. You know, I grew up with Indian culture in my home. So like red rose black tea, amazing. That's a homebrew. Chai tea chai is amazing.
Yeah.
I dare you to find me a tea I don't like.
I love that. I love that. Okay, so I'm glad you said, like, you have Indian heritage, right? So you're an Indian, I guess you could say, right?
Yeah, so my background is Guyanese, so we're West Indian.
Okay.
And I'm actually, my heritage is mixed. My mom is born and raised in Canada, European descent, and my dad is Guyanese, Indian descent.
I love that. I love that. And I love tea too. So, okay, I just have one drawer, you said you have cabinets, okay? So we're just like on another level with tea with Chany, y'all. So just you're getting a bunch of tea when you engage with her. So Chany, we're at the end of our time today. And so what would you tell other people who want to be heroes? Because I've already identified you as a hero in my life. You know, I may not be where I want to be in my life, and everybody has aspirations for their life. But when I visited with you, I felt like you could get me there, and I plan on engaging with you more so you can get me there. Like, what would you tell other people who want to be heroes?
There is always a way. And if you dream something heroic and if you want to be a hero, even if it's not clear to you today or tomorrow or next year, it can happen. And if you just keep trusting in yourself and trusting in that heart-driven call to be a hero and do something bigger, you will get there. Keep believing in yourself. Keep trusting in yourself, checking in and following where it is that your heart and your intuition takes you. And people will show up. There will be support there, even if you can't see it yet.
I love that. And, you know, and I think the point here is like the universe will bring what you attract, right? So you need to trust that people like Chany will show up in your life. So if you're watching right now,
exactly.
I'm excited to be here right now because we want you to be our best friend. And whenever Brian decides to invite us to his wherever he's having the next showdown for optimizers, I don't know where that's going to be. I want to be invited. Okay. So I know COVID's going on right now, but we have a Spartan race we need to do, Brian. So tell us where that is and we will show up. But if you want to be part of this family, then you need to know that you're joining a family of people who support each other. And even though we want to be successful in our own like endeavors financially, our goal is to make sure that we're as individuals taken care of. And that's essentially what Chany's goal is. And that's what my goal is. So I feel like we're sisters in that mission of spreading more love in the world. And every morning I wake up at 4 a.m. and I do my 4 a.m. wake up routine. And that's why I have a 4 a.m. wake up show, guys. So the point is when you wake up at a certain time, you radiate energy towards the universe. And I feel like, you know, if we all did that in a certain way, then we would create a better world in greater service to the world. So
absolutely.
For those of y'all who are watching, I just want Chany to let us know, Chany, what is the best way for us to get in touch with you?
Amazing. So definitely writing into my website there, you can contact me. You can book if you want to talk. It doesn't have to be about coaching. If you just want to connect with me, you can book right in on the website. And if you want to sit in and just talk a little bit before we connect, I would always recommend that you email me at hello@chany.ca. And the website is Humanitea with a TEA coaching.com.
Love it. Love it. And I was able to add that as a banner on this live broadcast. So if you're watching on YouTube or any other channel, then you can see it right there. But if you are not, then you need to go to Humanitea, and I'm going to spell it out, www.humanitea, HUMANITEA coaching.com to make sure you reach out to Chany Singh so you can find out more about how you can take your life to the next level so you can have self-love, self-mastery, and the very best part, which is self-actualization. Thank you, Abraham Maslow, for letting us know that we can be the best version of ourselves. I think the point here is that, girls and guys, if you're listening right now, you need to at least do the free consultation with her so that you can feel cleansed and ready to move into your next life, not only for your business, but also for your life. So Chany, I want to thank you so much for accepting our invitation to be our Power Up hero today. You are a hero for us because you've put yourself out there. You accepted this invitation. Not a lot of people would accept this invitation to speak about their heroic life. But I think you've also been able to paint a picture for us about how we can live our best lives. So I want to thank you for that. And I just want to let you know that we appreciate you and we hope you continue to be the best version of yourself.
Thank you so much for having me today. I was so excited to do this. And thank you for nominating me. This is such an honor. And I'm just so glad we got to talk.
I know. And I don't usually nominate people because I feel like it's silly, right? It's my show. I'm nominating people. That doesn't make sense, right? So you're one of the ones that I have seen and been like, you know what? I don't even care what other people are saying. You know, she's coming on right now. All right. So you need to know, when I had my 30-minute conversation with her, I walked into my office and cried afterwards. So she was amazing. So just know that your life will change if you reach out to Chany Singh, okay? Thank you, Chany. We will see you on the flip side. Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so glad that you were with us today. And I want to thank you so much for listening to the show. But more important than that, I want you to know that this show is produced and edited by powerup.org, HRMG, and also our partners at Right On Corpus Christi. And I want to thank you so much, because part of this show is helping you understand that you are part of this show. So if you're watching right now, I just need you to give yourself a high five. So high five yourself, which looks like this. It's like a clap, one clap, and you're high-fiving yourself because we're in COVID right now, so we don't see each other. But the point is, you need to appreciate yourself for being here to listen to these stories, because if you found out any information that will be helpful to you, then that is our goal. Our goal is to help you become successful. If you want to find out more about the Power Up Hero that we just interviewed, go to our new podcast page, which is poweruphero.org. Again, poweruphero.org. And if you want to tell us your story about how you are a Power Up Hero, or someone in your life is a Power Up Hero, visit our website, poweruphero.org, and we want you on the show. We're talking about everyday heroes. We're not talking about people written up in magazines and on TV shows. We're talking about your neighbors, the people who you see every day, the people who are heroes in your life. I want you to nominate them. We want their positive attitude, and we want their commitment to being heroes in our community. Again, visit our website, poweruphero.org. I'm so excited that you got to join me today. So if you want to live a powered up life, to live to your fullest potential, then make sure you subscribe so you don't ever miss any of these shows. You can listen to the Power Up Hero show on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, The Beach 96.5, pretty much anywhere, Stitcher, YouTube, pretty much everywhere. We're everywhere, y'all. You can listen to anywhere and everywhere you listen to audio or video. You can catch us and find out more about power heroes that we know about, because we hope you were educated, inspired, and encouraged to be a power up hero in your life. Not only for the community that you serve, the teams that you serve with, the family and friends that you get to be around, for your own career, for yourself, but most importantly, because we know that our world needs heroes today more than ever before. I'm Lisa Wisner, and I'm just so proud to serve as your host of this show of Power Up Hero. So in closing, I want to end with my own personal experience as an Optimized Coach graduate. So I'm going to share with you my graduation, and then we'll close with our ending. And look, there's a sea of blue. I'm going to turn around, and we're just about to load the buses. So yay! Good times. About to do a Spartan. Today's the day. Today's the day. We signed up for this a year ago.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go see Brian.
All right.
Because I saw him right there.
All right.
So I'm gonna go see him, okay? So Brian's taking a picture, but I'm gonna snag him. So hey, how's it going? Say hi. So excited about the race. Hey Brian, say hi to my friends.
Hello friends.
Yes, so this is Brian Johnson.
Let's do it.
When you hear me say Brian Johnson, this is the guy. This is Mr. Optimize, the guy that makes you misty every time he talks. You're like, oh my God, I'm gonna cry over all this. Thank you so much for making this happen for us. I can't believe there's all these people here, but more important than that, I can't believe I'm here. And the life that I have led since I've known you since 2017 has been life-changing, and I wish this on everyone. And so thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, I am just about to graduate. There's a huge line, let me show you. So my flight is a little bit early, so I'm graduating a little bit earlier than my swim buddy.
Hey,
I almost called him my coach because I really have felt like he has been my coach.
And you
yes! My certificate! Look at it! Look at it! Look at it! Look at it! Yes, I'm excited. Haven't signed it yet. gonna
But,
be thinking
you know,
about signing it.
Yeah, you sign it when you get home and you committed to get this done,
Yes,
right?
I think so. Actually, I'm probably gonna put it in the glass, and sign it every day. Every day. Day one. Every day is day one.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Way to go.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
What happened? Oh, it wasn't even recording.
It wasn't recording. There you go. Here is Lisa doing her optimized dance.
Woo! Hug, hug, photo, hug, hug, photo, hug, hug, photo, hug, I'm excited. I can't stop moving.
I'm very pleased. Environment.
Thank you. I'm so excited that y'all got to watch that. Honestly, it was the most exciting experience for me. It was a full year of just going through the optimized protocols every day, doing our carpe diems and graduating. And if you don't know about the optimized protocols, you don't actually sign your certificate in real life. So if you notice, I had it signed earlier and I just erased it. So every night when you do your PM protocols, you erase your signature because every day you commit yourself. You commit yourself to demonstrating your commitment to being your best version. And so this certificate sits on my wall, and every morning I wake up, I do my, if I haven't signed it, it means I didn't do my carpe diem, which is very rare, okay? Sometimes I'm just running out of the house, but yes, I sign it every day. I grab my little marker and I sign it. I also put on my optimized Spartan wristband. So I put on my Spartan wristband and I make sure I hold on to my Memento Mori coin because I have to remember that we only have this life, right? Remember death. That if something did happen in your life, did you feel like you lived your best life? This was your one time to be the best version of yourself. And were you that? So hopefully this show was exciting to you and it was inspiring so you can be your best version. And again, I want to just thank you so much for taking the time out of your Saturday to join us today. But more important than that, for those of y'all who are listening after the fact in our podcast, I want to thank you for listening. And I want to thank you for being part of our mission to bridge the divide of learning how to be your best version, but also bridging the divide of digital inclusivity, making sure that we're eliminating technology poverty, because COVID has taught us that that is a real thing, and that is our mission, to eliminate technology poverty. I hope you will join us in our future, which is at powerup.org, to provide opportunities where everyone rises up. My name is Lisa Wisner, and I'm excited to be a host of PowerUp Hero, and I invite you to join us next week because we have a very exciting person coming on who is going to be talking about social justice within our community. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week. Bye.